This is the luxury fashion case study on how we generated $3.2 million from 371,000 spent, 8.6 ROAS from January 1st, 2024 to January 1st, 2025 on Meta, with 96% of sales generated from new customers. Here's the time frame on the ad account. Here's the result, right? Here's the spend, the ROAS, and the sales generated. Quick background on why this is worth your time. I'm Brandon, one of the co-founders of Digiceptual. We specialize in scaling fashion and jewelry brands with ads for over 5 years. Below are just some of the fashion brands we scale, some of which are luxury brands like Nana Jacqueline, Nonchalant Label, New York Dress, JMP The Label, and many more. And here are some of the jewelry brands we scale, which many of them are luxury as well. Dame Marson, Elizabeth Cole Jewelry, Sparkle Society, Deepak Gurnani, and many more. And over 16 fashion and jewelry brand founders like you made video testimonials on the results and experience working with us. You can see all of it below, but here's some previews if you just want a quick glance. For example, Nonchalant, they grew almost over 400% in their first year. Royal Codes, their profitability has gone way back up. Dame Marson, their ROAS has doubled, and they've seen growth month over month for the past 6 months at least. And we also have a YouTube channel called Digiceptual. If you want to see more case studies and how we scale fashion brands, fashion and jewelry brands, I suggest checking it out after watching this case study. All of this is just to show you that we aren't just talking bullshit and unproven theory. We know there's a lot of bullshit like traction can take several months, or better results would come from spending more money, or this one-size-fits-all approach works for any business, or even you need to do UGC ads. Maybe you've heard this one multiple times. And maybe you've experienced this or something like this before, or even experiencing it now. Many of our clients, especially luxury brand clients, experience this before working with us, so we understand where you're coming from. What we do works, and it's not just us saying it works. Our clients publicly say it works. So who this is for? From the title of this case study, obviously this is for you if your fashion or jewelry brand is luxury and is doing 30 to 35K per month online or more. If your brand isn't luxury but you still want to learn, it's still relevant, but there will be nuances like higher ROAS. The reason why the ROAS can be at these numbers is because luxury has higher price points. Maybe you want to incorporate performance marketing into your strategy, or you already are, and you want to get more new customers profitably from ads while staying true to your brand. Scale your DTC sales every month and expand your customer base. Ensure you aren't paying for customers you would have acquired anyway, especially if you have a large organic following already. And other things similar to those above. If so, this case study can help you achieve those results. Here's some context. The product is clothing, mainly dresses and tops, so it's women's fashion. Price point is around $400 and higher, and the market is mainly US, some Australia. What I cover in this luxury case study, our simple approach to ads that actually expands the customer base, what campaigns we use to consistently scale, what images and videos we use that attracts the right buyers, and I share examples, and where we send new traffic that converts the highest. So let's jump into it. Our simple approach is to help scale luxury fashion brands with ads by getting new customers profitably. Simple. An average of 96% of sales generated in this case study were from new customers. So that means out of the 3.2 million sales generated, 3 million of the sales were from new customers, and the rest were from existing audiences or existing customers. From a marketing perspective, on average, 96% of the ad sales came from the top of funnel, and 4% came from the middle and bottom of funnel. We don't focus on MOF and BOF or their existing audiences and customers because that's what retention marketing, which is like email and SMS, are for. Now, from a ROAS perspective, our goal is to not get the highest ROAS possible. We can easily do that by just spending more on MOF and BOF or on existing audiences and customers. So it looks good on paper, but doesn't drive real growth to the brand. So basically, it's bullshit. Our goal is to get as many new customers profitably and scale, not to get the highest ROAS. Small detail, but big difference. So as long as we are at a profitable ROAS and at KPI, we just keep scaling. So here are some examples from campaigns showing our approach. So it might be, you might have to zoom in, but I'll just read it out to you. And so this campaign, 94% of that sales were from new audiences. So this campaign generated 16K in sales, 15.2K came from new audiences. In this one, 84% of it were from new audiences. So this campaign generated 35K in sales, roughly 30K came from new audiences. In this campaign, 100% of the sales were from new audiences. And in this campaign, 92% of the sales were from new audiences. So this campaign generated 43K and about 40K came from new audiences. And you can zoom in. And this is the audience breakdown of existing customers versus new audience. Now, what campaigns we use? For creative testing, we use ABO campaigns only, no ASC or CBO at all. The reason why is so we have the most control of the process, not Meta. By having the most control of the process, we can understand the result of why certain angles work and why certain angles don't work. Then the brand can just replicate those angles via new creatives, and we just rinse and repeat angles that work. That's what we did with this brand and how we do it with other fashion brands we work with. Whereas with ASC and CBO, Meta has the most control over the process, which defeats the purpose of testing. And we see this all the time with brands before working with us. Whoever is running their ads just keeps throwing new creatives into ASC or CBO campaigns and just letting Meta decide what works and doesn't work. That's not testing. That's just throwing shit on the wall and seeing what sticks. Right? Because then if you give Meta the most control, they just do whatever, but you don't know exactly what their process is, right? So if you can't describe exactly how a winning ad looks like, what works and what doesn't, then you or whoever runs your ads haven't done any real testing. That's the brutal reality of it. Now, each ad set has at least 3 ads minimum, and each ad set is an angle we're testing, and the ad supports that angle. Example, this ad set is testing a lifestyle image angle with 3 ads in the ad set. So you can see the 3 ads here, obviously blurred out for obvious reasons. So you can see like this ad right here, the 2.82 ROAS, probably not so good. The other ones were good, like 8.68, 6.43. Those are pretty good. So we test at least 15 new ads per week minimum. This is so we constantly gain new insights on exactly what works so the brand makes more of it, and what doesn't so the brand avoids it and saves resources. And the audience settings is broad, meaning we just target the entire market. So here's a testing campaign. So this ABO, right, labeled 5 angles. This one generated about 29K in sales from 4.9K spent. So it's roughly a 6 ROAS. So here are some of the angles that have scale potential that I highlighted in this red box, right? The ROAS is like 7.24, 6.94, 6.5. These have potential. Here are some angles that don't have potential, right? One had 3.16 ROAS, 2.32, 1.99. One even got 0. So obviously no potential there. So with the angles that do have scale potential, we just duplicate them into scaling campaigns, which is what I will cover now. So scaling campaigns are a mix of ABO, CBO, and ASC campaigns. At this point, since we know what ads work and what doesn't from testing, we can let Meta take more control with scaling them. However, we still like to have hands-on control while scaling, which is why we have ABO scaling campaigns. For the brand in this case study, we mainly use ABO scaling campaigns and a few CBO and ASC campaigns. We just found ABO works better, so we just stick with it. So below is an ASC scaling campaign. This one, we spent about 4.8K, 9 ROAS, so a 43K return. Here's a CBO campaign. We spent 4.8K, 7.18 ROAS at a 35K return. And here are just some ABO campaigns. They generate roughly, most of them did like an 8 ROAS and higher. Like this one, we spent 12.6K, 8 ROAS, so roughly 104K return. All right. And now here's simple images we use and videos that we use to attract the right buyers. We use simple images and videos that clearly show their best sellers. Images and videos both do well, not one's better than the other. Just a quick side note. And the reason why we show best sellers the most is because they have proven demand in the market. Simple logic. If most of the sales are always coming from a small percentage of products, the best sellers, showing those products to new audiences will also get them to buy. If the brand wants to test new collections, we use creatives for those too, right? The new collection creatives. But most of the new angles we test and scale are their best sellers. Now back to the creatives itself. Many people think you need to invest in high production creatives, copy LVMH, do fashion shows, etc. But the reality is none of these work for ads specifically. All new audiences care about is if they want to buy the product or not. Below is a simple rack shot of our best sellers that perform well. You can see it through the blur, right? It's like a rack shot. Here are the products. Nothing crazy or high production about it. It just shows the product while still having the brand aesthetic and the vibe. It was shot with just an iPhone, no fancy equipment needed. And based on the initial test results from it, clear signs that it works. So from this test, we spent $600, 9.2 ROAS, so it generated 5.5K sales. Clearly, this has demand, this creative works. Also, with simple images and videos, we can efficiently test new angles all the time to keep scaling. You can't do that with high production shoots and things similar to it. They cost a lot of money, time, and energy with no guarantee that it works. So here's next one, where we send new traffic that converts the highest. The highest converting page is the new arrivals collection page. So you can see from an ad, we send it to collections, new arrivals. Time and time again, new arrivals outperform every other page. The funny thing is, many of the products, like the best sellers on the new arrivals page, aren't new. They are just perceived as new because the traffic is almost all new audiences. So we just make sure the best sellers are always at the top of the page because, again, they already have demand, so new audiences will most likely purchase them. And since we know that this is the highest converting page, we don't bother with testing new pages anymore and just focus on testing creatives and driving more new traffic. So, in short, by focusing ads on getting new customers profitably at top of funnel instead of existing audiences and existing customers, using only ABO campaigns to creative test and scale with a mix of ABO, CBO, ASC campaigns, using simple images and videos showing the best sellers in the ads, and driving new traffic to our new arrivals collection page, that's how we generated $3.2 million from 371,000 spent at an 8.6 ROAS from January 1st, 2024 to January 1st, 2025, just on Meta for this luxury fashion brand. Here's the result again. You can see it in the ad account. They get new customers profitably from ads every single day, and their D2C sales plus customer base grow every single month, all while staying true to the brand. Now, you can try to apply this case study to your brand, which can be challenging, time-consuming, and filled with trial and error, or you can work with us. We'll run all the ads for you in your ad account. All we need are the raw files of your images and videos. Be your trusted advisor by actively sharing fashion insights, giving creative direction, and sharing what we know works and doesn't. You will avoid all the challenges of by doing it yourself and just get results faster. You will get new customers profitably from ads without damaging your brand. You will see your online sales grow every single month. And you'll not have to worry about this side of your business anymore because you're working with specialists who understand luxury fashion and know what they're doing. And you will always be one step ahead of your competitors. So if your luxury brand is doing 30 to 35K per month online or more, and you're serious about scaling it with ads, book a call with me now by clicking the book a call button below this video. You'll speak to me, Brandon, personally, not some random salesperson. And obviously, I won't be wearing a suit like I am in this picture. It's just to show you my face, but you see my face here on the video. I'll probably look like this. Shirt, all cool. The call is straightforward, no bullshit. It's for me to simply understand your brand and see if it's a fit. And this takes around 5 to 7 minutes on average for me. If it's not a fit, I will tell you because we don't charge any upfront fees despite our track record. I know, sounds crazy, I know, since we like to deliver results first. And number 2, you work and communicate with us directly, the people who are actually running your ads, not some random junior or account manager who's playing telephone. So if I see we won't be able to 100% get the results you want, there's no point in continuing or taking you on because it will be a waste of our resources and your time. If it is a fit, I will make a custom plan on exactly how we'll scale your brand and go over the rest of the details of how we work. Then if you're up for it, we'll get things started. Very simple. So again, if you want to work with us so that you get new customers profitably every day from ads and grow your online sales while staying true to your brand, book a call with me now by clicking the book a call button below this video. And I look forward to speaking to you then.